I hate my deaf stepdaughter. And my entitled husband pushes her on me and demands I learn ASL. So I learn enough to mock her and tell her to get the F out of my house and play family with her real mother. Now I'm regretting it. I 30SF have been married to my husband 40SM for just over a year now. We've known each other for 3. I brought my 2 kids, Ethan 8M and Ellie 5F, into the marriage. He knew from day one I wasn't looking to expand the family emotionally or biologically. He said he was fine with that because he didn't have kids of his own and didn't want more either. Well, it turns out that was only half true. A few months back, he gets this Facebook message out of nowhere from a girl named Monica. 15 years old. She says she's his daughter. According to her, her mother never told him about the pregnancy and moved out of state right after she was born. They just moved back into our state, and she wanted to meet him. Cue drama. I thought it was a scam. I even told him straight up that he should get a DNA test before even responding. But the girl actually looked a lot like him, same jawline, same weird sleepy eyes, and I could tell he was already emotionally softening before even confirming anything. Long story short, the test came back, and boom, he's her dad. So now, suddenly, we have this teenage girl in the picture who no one knew about. She lives about 40 minutes away with her mom, and there's no court arrangement or anything. She just comes over here when she wants, or when he picks her up. At first, it was like once a month. Then a couple weekends. Then she even slept over a few times. Now let me say this before people start throwing pitchforks. I don't hate the girl. She seems polite enough. But she's not my kid. She's not even close. I didn't sign up for this, and quite frankly, I don't want another child in the house, especially not one in the middle of teen drama, family trauma, and an identity crisis. But here's the kicker. Monica is hearing impaired. She uses American Sign Language ASL almost exclusively. I didn't even notice at first because my husband was just texting with her or using basic gestures. But during one of her overnights, it became very clear that she couldn't hear a damn thing we were saying unless she was looking directly at someone's lips or reading on a phone. I didn't grow up around that. My kids don't either. And it immediately made everything in the house more strained. She tries to sign things to Ethan and Ellie, but they don't understand. She tries to sign to me, and I just kind of stare at her and nod like I'm on a delay. I'm working 48 hours a week. I barely have time to fold my damn laundry. And now I'm supposed to take a course in a whole new language for someone who pops in and out like a side character in a sitcom. No thanks. But of course, my husband decides that we should all start learning ASL as a family. That's his word, family. Like we're one big sitcom blended unit. He starts showing YouTube videos to the kids, printing out finger spelling sheets, and trying to sign good morning and want toast, like we're living in a damn Mr. Rogers episode. I told him point blank that I'm not doing it. I learned 3 languages already, 2 of them in school and 1 as an adult, and it was hell. I don't have time or bandwidth for this. He said we could just learn the basics, how to say hi, how are you, and do you want anything, but I'm not entertaining that either. Ethan and Ellie said they didn't want to learn if I wasn't going to. Probably didn't help that I rolled my eyes every time my husband brought it up. I'm not going to play fake nice. This girl doesn't live with us. She's barely here. And now everyone's acting like we're supposed to revolve around her needs when she's been in our lives for maybe 5 minutes. Here's where things really took a turn. And yeah, I already know how this sounds, but I don't care anymore. The last time Monica stayed over, I decided I'd learn some sign language. Not real ASL. I'm not wasting time on that. I looked up some made-up signs and random gestures from comedy skits online and decided I'd start using them when she was around, just enough to let her know I didn't give a SHT about playing happy family. I wanted her to stop trying to make me talk to her. She could have her visits with her dad. That was it. I know, petty. Call it what you want. She asked me for something in signs, probably for a glass of water or whatever, and I signed back something I knew was wrong. Like a gesture that meant clown from some joke video I saw. I didn't say anything. Just smiled and walked away. My husband didn't notice. But she definitely did. Next visit, I did it again. She looked confused and a little uncomfortable. She tried writing things down instead, and I acted like I was too busy to read it. I don't owe her a connection. I didn't choose this setup, and I'm not going to bend over backwards to include someone I didn't even know existed until 4 months ago. My husband eventually noticed things were weird. Monica barely looked at me. She just sat in the living room, texting him, barely engaging with the rest of us. He asked me what happened, and I shrugged and said maybe she's just a moody teen. He looked at me like he didn't believe it, but he let it go. Then he brought it up again last week and said she told him I was making her feel unwelcome, that I didn't try to communicate with her, that I was using the wrong signs on purpose. He asked if it was true. I didn't even deny it. I said, maybe she should stop forcing herself into a family that doesn't need her. And now the house is completely tense. My husband hasn't looked at me the same since. He's still letting her visit, but he told me he's disappointed in how I've handled things. I told him I don't care. I told him to stop trying to patch together a perfect blended family when it's never going to happen. I'm not her stepmom. I'm not her anything. So fast forward to Monica's next visit. I already knew she'd told my husband something because he'd been walking around all stiff and quiet the night before. He didn't say much, just that he hoped we could all try to make the environment better. I didn't respond. She shows up that weekend with an overnight bag again. Husband tries to keep everything normal. Ethan and Ellie run around like usual. I'm on the couch scrolling on my phone. Monica signs hi to me. I smirk and lift my hand and do another fake sign, something that translates to nothing, but looks like I'm swatting a fly. She hesitates, then just walks away and goes to hang out with my husband. He starts teaching her and the kids how to sign stuff like family, happy, thank you, and all that Hallmark crap. I make it a point not to even look at them. I start laughing at something on my phone louder than necessary, while he's trying to show them something serious. I want her to feel the divide. She's not part of this house. Later that night during dinner, she tries to sign something to me again, probably asking for salt or whatever. I hold eye contact, nod slowly like I get it, then pass her the completely wrong item, a fork, when she already has one. She looks at me like she's done trying. Husband gets irritated and tries to politely say, maybe we should all try harder. I straight up say, I'm not going to learn a whole language for someone who's barely here. Silence. Monica puts down her fork and goes to the bathroom. Husband stares at me like I slapped her. After dinner, I hear crying from the hallway. Monica is trying not to be loud. The husband is comforting her, signing something like he's in a Lifetime movie. I actually roll my eyes out loud. Ethan asks me what's wrong with her. I say, nothing, she's just sensitive. That night, my husband asks me if I'm intentionally being cruel. I say, I'm being real. He says Monica feels unwanted. I respond, she is unwanted by me. He says I'm acting like a child. I say, then go start your little deaf family somewhere else. He sleeps on the couch. The next morning, Monica won't even come near the kitchen unless my husband is there. She texts him everything instead of signing. He keeps giving me disappointed dad stares like I care. When he drives her back home, I don't say, bye. She turns to look at me anyway, and I deliberately do one of my fake signs again, completely deadpan. She shakes her head and walks out. Husband comes back furious. Says Monica told him I was mocking her disability. She says she asked if I hated deaf people. I literally laughed. I told him it's not about her being deaf. It's about her being here. He said she thinks I hate her for existing. I said she's not wrong. He starts yelling, saying I'm breaking a 15-year-old who's just trying to bond with her father. I said she can bond with him somewhere that isn't my house. I said I don't owe her anything, and I'm not mentally adopting someone just because they shared DNA with him. I reminded him that we agreed on no more kids, and this entire situation is not my burden. He said, this is my daughter. I replied, she's still a stranger to me. A stranger who keeps trying to force herself into a role she doesn't have. He tells me he's disgusted by how I handled it. I tell him I don't care if he approves of me. I'm not changing my stance. I won't learn ASL. I won't fake family unity. And I won't pretend to care about a teenager who randomly appeared and now expects us to revolve around her needs. Now he barely talks to me. He still does his little ASL practice at night. Ethan asked if Monica will come back. I shrugged and said maybe if she likes getting ignored. Ellie said Monica is like a ghost. I didn't correct her. My husband says he might set up alternating weekends somewhere else without me. I told him that was a great idea. I even said he could make those weekends deaf weekends and have a blast being the world's best dad. He didn't respond. He's withdrawn, quieter, and less affectionate. Monica hasn't been back in 2 weeks. He still messages her. Sometimes I catch him looking at me like he's realizing who he married. I think he expected me to soften. I won't. People in this house know the rules. I protect my peace, my kids, and my schedule. I don't rebuild myself around someone else's random child. He keeps telling me I could have at least met her halfway. I tell him I didn't even want to walk in her direction. She's now apparently thinking of bringing this up to her therapist because she feels unwelcome and like she's not allowed to exist without being mocked. That was an actual line she relayed through text to my husband. I didn't feel guilty. Honestly, I felt annoyed that this is still a conversation. He wants me to apologize. I won't. He wants me to at least stop the fake signing. I already did that part, served its purpose. I wanted her to get the message. This isn't your family. Go back to your life and stop trying to force your way into mine. Message delivered. Now my husband is quiet and distant. Our marriage is tense. He still sleeps in bed, but barely faces me. He's trying not to pick a side, even though he already has. Ethan and Ellie don't fully get what happened, but they know something changed. I don't regret anything. I won't apologize. I won't learn sign language. I won't pretend to care about a girl I didn't sign up for. She can visit him somewhere else if she wants father-daughter bonding time. I won't interfere, but I won't participate. If she comes here again, I won't engage. Silence is a boundary. She can take the hint and stay out. So here we are. He thinks I'm cruel. She probably hates me. I honestly feel nothing except relief that she's not around right now. My life is easier without pretending to accommodate someone I never invited in. AITA? Comment 1. YTA, like, massively. And not just because you refuse to learn a ASL, that part I might almost understand if you just said, I'm too busy, and she's barely here. But no, you went full mean girl adult edition. You mocked a disabled teenager using fake sign language to get under her skin. You purposely made a vulnerable person feel stupid and unwanted. That's straight up bullying. Monica didn't choose to exist. She didn't lie to you. She didn't wrong you. She just showed up wanting a connection with her father. And instead of acting like the adult in the room, you decided to send a message like a coward. Your husband didn't betray you by wanting a relationship with his kid. You're treating the existence of this girl like it's an attack on you. It's not. But your reaction sure as hell is an attack on her. I hope your husband sees this version of you for what it is. You didn't protect your peace. You scorched the earth to avoid sharing an inch of space. Own that. Comment 2. Jesus. This is what peak selfishness looks like. You act like this kid's a cockroach crawling into your pristine home and not, your husband's daughter. Surprise. People have pasts. Sometimes messy, baby included ones. I actually think it's wild that your husband didn't tell you this is non-negotiable from day one. Because you've made it painfully obvious that you're incapable of treating her like a human being. And you call that honesty. It's just cruelty with a spine. Also, your kids Ethan and Ellie. Yeah, they're watching. You think they're not internalizing how you treat people who are inconvenient to you. Imagine when they bring someone home who's deaf, autistic, disabled, or just doesn't meet your perfect mold standards. What are you going to do? Make up a new fake language for them too. You didn't just refuse to engage. You crafted a psychological warfare strategy. Over a 15-year-old. Congrats on the villain arc. Comment 3. YTA. You keep saying, I didn't sign up for this. Neither did she. You've had your husband, your home, your kids, and your routine. She's the one who found out the man who could have been in her life for 15 years wasn't. And now she's trying to grab any piece of connection before she's too old to hope for a father-daughter bond. And your response is to tell her, via fake sign language, go crawl back into whatever hole you came from. You hate her for appearing. But she didn't show up for you. She came for her dad. You just made yourself an unnecessary villain in a story that wasn't even about you. I hope your husband protects that girl from your toxicity. Because if I had gotten that treatment at 15, it would have destroyed me more than the abandonment already did. Update. So, after the last time Monica came over, my husband started pushing for family counseling. I told him flat out that if this is some scheme to guilt me into being a stepmom, I'm not playing along. He said it was just about making the house less tense, right? We go to one of these feel-good family therapists. She starts asking us to speak our truth in a safe environment. Monica's not there, but the therapist had already been told why we were there from her. So I'm walking into a setup. I already know. She asks how I feel about Monica. I say I don't. That's the whole point. She's not part of my emotional world. I don't love her. I don't hate her. She's not mine. Then she asks me how I felt when Monica first reached out. I say, it was an intrusion. Our life was calm before she showed up. That didn't go over well. The therapist nods all quiet, like I'm radioactive. My husband just looks defeated. She asks if I understand how Monica might feel being rejected by a parent figure. I say, I'm not a parent figure. She has a mother. I told them both she wasn't welcome here anymore. I thought that was clear. Eventually, I say what I actually mean. I want her gone. Session ends 10 minutes early. That night, the husband doesn't sleep in the bedroom. Again. The next morning, he says Monica's not coming over anymore, not while I'm like this. But also that he'll be seeing her elsewhere. Says she deserves to feel safe, even if I won't make the effort. Then it gets worse. A few days later, I walk into the living room, and my kids Ethan and Ellie are sitting on the floor, watching a video on the iPad. Monica had made them a little video. Real basic ASL signs with subtitles. Hi Ethan. Hi Ellie. I miss you. I love having a brother and sister. Some smiley SHT with colorful text. Little hearts and all that. They were laughing at her signs. Ethan tried mimicking some of it. Ellie signed, thank you. And then Ethan says, I wish Monica was still here. She's like our big sister. I lost it. I snapped at them. Told them to shut it and stop saying that she wasn't their sister. That she's not anything to them. I yelled. They both went quiet, faces dropped. Ellie looked down. Ethan blinked like I slapped him. I didn't. But it felt like I had. They didn't say another word to me the rest of the day. I heard them whispering to each other at night. Ellie said, why does Mum hate Monica? Ethan said. I think Monica's nicer than Mum. That one got me. I was outside their door, and I heard it, word for word. The next day, the husband comes home early from work. Tells me Monica's mum, his ex, called him screaming. Apparently, Monica told her about the fake signing, the mocking, the therapist, everything. That woman called me directly afterwards. Screamed at me over the phone. Called me a psychotic narcissist who's jealous of a teenage girl. Said I'm the reason Monica's going to need long-term therapy. That she cries herself to sleep feeling like she's not wanted by either side. Told me if I ever mocked her daughter again, she'd come handle it in person. I told her, you should have kept your legs closed 15 years ago if you didn't want problems now. She hung up. Husband overheard that one. He looked at me like he didn't recognize me. And then, a few days later, he actually left. Not fully, he took just a couple bags and said he'd be staying part-time with Monica and her mum's family. He said he needs to rebuild trust with his daughter and figure out what kind of father he wants to be. He said he'd come back to see Ethan and Ellie, but that he needed time away from me. Said I was toxic and had created a hostile home. Ethan cried when he left. Ellie screamed and said she wanted to go too. I told them no. I told them he abandoned this house. That this is still our home. They're not going to live with that girl. I had to physically stop Ellie from running out the door. She sobbed for an hour. Now the house feels like it's turning on me. The kids are distant. They talk to me when they have to, but they're quiet, cold. The opposite of how they were even 2 months ago. I tried to bake cookies with them, and Ellie said she didn't feel like it. Ethan said, can we call Dad? I wake up wondering how long I can even hold on to them. What happens when they're teenagers? Will they run too? Will they look at me like he does now? I've lost my husband. I'm losing my children. And all of it started when that girl showed up. Say what you want. Call me evil. Call me narcissistic. Bully. Abuser. I've seen the comments. I've seen people throw those words around like they're nothing. I'm not any of those things. That's not who I am. I'm a lovely person. I am generous. I cook for people. And I host the best goddamn holiday dinners in the neighborhood. I've taken food to neighbors in the rain. I've helped coworkers with their kids. My hospitality speaks volumes if you meet me in person. But when it comes to my home, I protect what's mine. Monica was never welcome. That girl came here with one mission to break this family. She wanted a dad. She got him. But she didn't stop there. She wanted the siblings. She wanted the attention. She wanted everything. She wormed her way into our world, and now it's falling apart. And now I don't even recognize my life. Before her, it was quiet. Just me, my husband, Ethan, and Ellie. It wasn't perfect, but it was peaceful. Now I feel like a stranger in my own home. Tell me, how do I get my kids back on my side? How do I fix things with my husband? Or is that girl going to take them all away from me too? Stop calling me a monster. I made a mistake, maybe. The sign thing was supposed to be a joke. Maybe a dark joke. I didn't mean to hurt her. I don't even give an F about her. She's an outsider. She's not welcome here. This house is mine. Mine, my kids, and my husband's. Or it used to be. Now I'm watching it all slip away. Comments. Comment 1. Nah, you're not misunderstood or just protecting your home. You're abusive. Like textbook emotionally abusive. You weaponized your stepdaughter's disability, mocked her in front of others, and tried to mentally isolate her. And now you're shocked everyone is pulling away from you. You don't get to act like your family is being stolen when you're the one lighting the damn house on fire. Your husband didn't leave because Monica manipulated him, he left because he realized he married someone who lacks basic human decency. Your kids are retreating because they watched their mum humiliate a girl for daring to exist. And let's talk about that call with Monica's mum. You blamed her for not keeping her legs closed. You went feral. You can't even hide your contempt. You rage at everyone, play victim, then cry because your kids don't want to bake cookies with you anymore. What did you expect? That they'd clap while you break their dad's heart and bully a girl who wanted a relationship? You're not the victim. You're the reason everyone's leaving. Comment 2. I think the scariest part here is that you genuinely don't see how much you've emotionally damaged your own children. You said Ellie sobbed for an hour after her dad left. Ethan said Monica is nicer than you. Your kids are children, and they're trying to navigate a house where their mum explodes over a teenager trying to bond. They're watching you. Watching how you treat someone vulnerable. Watching how rage and spite get prioritized over connection. And you're right, when they're older, they will leave you. Not because Monica stole them, but because you showed them how conditional your love is. Your husband didn't cheat. He didn't hide Monica on purpose. He was blindsided too. But he stepped up and tried to do the right thing for her. Meanwhile, you chose hostility over humanity. I think the damage here goes deeper than you realize. You want advice? Start with a real apology. Not that half-arsed, it was a joke excuse. You hurt someone. Own it. Then get therapy. Because right now, you're destroying the very people you're claiming to protect. Comment 3. Oh, you're a lovely person with great hospitality. Yeah, I'm sure you throw one hell of a dinner party right before mocking your deaf stepdaughter and emotionally holding your kids hostage. This whole protect my peace thing, that isn't peace. That's dictatorship. You didn't set a boundary. You built a effing fortress and then aimed sniper rifles at anyone who knocked. You acted like Monica was a roach in your pantry, not your husband's child. A child who came looking for connection and got slapped with fake signs and passive-aggressive bullshit. And now that your husband left, your kids are cold, and the dog probably avoids you too. You're crying about how everything changed when she showed up. No, everything changed when you showed your true self. You say, she ruined your life, but maybe she just exposed it. Also calling her mom and telling her to keep her legs closed. Jesus. That's how you talk when you've already decided you're the villain and you're going to die on that hill. Congrats. You built your hill. Now you're on it. Alone. Update. Hi again. I didn't think I'd ever come back here, but here we are. It's been a little over 7 months since my original post, the one where I admitted I didn't want to learn ASL for my husband's newly discovered teenage daughter. And yeah, also admitted I mocked her. That post went viral and blew up in my face, in more ways than one. A lot has changed, and not for the better. First, my husband is gone. He moved out about 2 months after everything exploded. He now lives full-time in the city with Monica and her mom. The same woman who never even told him he had a child for 15 years is now the person he shares weekends and dinners with. He calls it rebuilding lost time. I call it choosing someone else over your family. He said he couldn't watch someone he loves be dehumanized in his own home. I told him I didn't dehumanize anyone, I just refused to fake a connection that never existed. Monica wasn't my daughter. She wasn't my stepdaughter. She was a stranger who got dropped into our lives like a bomb. And yeah, I handled it badly. I know that now. I mocked her signing. I pushed her out. I shut her down. I didn't want her in my house. But I wasn't trying to traumatize her. I honestly thought she'd just back off. She didn't. And I guess now I'm paying for it. I still have Ethan and Ellie with me, for now. They go stay with their dad on alternating weekends. And yes, Monica is always there. They talk about her constantly when they get back. Monica taught me this sign. Monica made us cookies. Monica said this movie is her favorite. It's like they're being slowly reprogrammed into loving her more than me. And I hate that I even think that way. I hate that I feel jealous of a child. But I do. She came into our lives. And now I feel like I've been replaced in every possible way. She took my husband. She's taking my kids. And somehow I'm the villain. The part no one understands, especially not the Reddit mob, is that I never claimed to be Monica's mother. I never wanted that role. But Ethan and Ellie, I am their mother. I raised them since birth. They only know me as mom. They know my tone, my food, and my routines. Monica was a late arrival who didn't earn that place in this house, in this family. That matters. And yet somehow, I'm the one who got kicked out emotionally. I've tried to be better, I swear. I've stopped mocking anyone. I don't say anything cruel. But now the silence is just as loud. The kids are different with me. They don't laugh the same way. Ethan barely looks me in the eye sometimes, especially when we argue. He asked me last week, "Why don't you love Monica?" I told him, "Because I don't know her." He didn't respond. Ellie cries more now. She says she misses how we all used to be together. I told her it's not my fault Daddy left. But I think she blames me anyway. And I'm scared. Genuinely scared. Not of Monica, I still think she's manipulative, intentional, and calculated in her innocent deaf girl role. But I'm scared that my own kids are slipping through my fingers. They're still young, but not dumb. They see the cracks. They feel the tension. And they love their dad. They love Monica. And I'm the angry presence now, the one who has to say no or stop asking about her. So here I am. Alone most nights. A quiet house that used to be full. Watching my kids pack bags to go see their dad and the girl who replaced me. Sitting in a kitchen, I used to cook full dinners and now just reheating frozen food for 1.5 people. And I still get comments. DMs. People are calling me narcissistic, cruel, and a bully. I'm not those things. I was overwhelmed. I was territorial. But I'm not evil. I've hosted neighbors, helped friends with their kids, donated to food drives, and volunteered. If you met me in person, you'd think I was warm. But all anyone sees now is what I did during the worst emotional time of my life. I never said I handled it right. But I didn't deserve this level of fallout either. I didn't deserve to lose everything because I didn't instantly bond with a girl I didn't give birth to. And now, I don't know what to do. I don't want to lose Ethan and Ellie. But they're changing. They're softer with him. Colder with me. I can feel it. I think about the years I have left before they're both old enough to choose where they want to live. And I know they'll go. I can feel it in my gut. And I don't know how to stop that. So Reddit, fine, pile on again. But maybe also tell me this. How do I fix this before my kids leave me too? How do I undo damage that maybe I wasn't the only one responsible for? How do I keep being their mom if they start loving someone else more? I don't have any more signs to fake. I don't have anyone left to fight. I just have silence and cold stares from the people I used to tuck in at night. Comments. Comment 1. You want to know how to keep being their mom if they start loving someone else more? You don't. You stop making their love for her mean less love for you. That's where you went wrong. I was Monica. Not deaf, but I was the surprise kid from another relationship. I met my dad at 14. My stepmom hated me on sight. I saw it in every tight smile, every eye roll, every "go ask your dad." It crushed me. I didn't want her house. I didn't want to ruin her life. I wanted my dad. You keep saying Monica destroyed your family, but no, you set fire to it the second you made your love conditional. Your husband left because you didn't just fail to bond. You mocked his daughter's disability. That's not a lack of connection. That's cruelty. Now your kids are watching how you treated someone vulnerable. And they're realizing love from you comes with terms and territory. No wonder they're drifting. You didn't lose your family. You built a wall around yourself and called it home. Then cried when no one wanted to stay inside it. Comment 2. You just wanted peace. That's rich. You wanted peace like a dictator wants silence by controlling who's allowed in the room. Let me translate your whole post. I never wanted to be her mom, =. I refused to treat a disabled kid with basic human courtesy. She destroyed my family, =. She didn't disappear like I hoped. So I turned my own house into a war zone. I mocked her as a joke. I humiliated a teenager with communication needs because I was pissed she existed. My kids are colder now. They've seen who I really am and are quietly distancing before they have the chance to run. You keep asking why you lost everything. The answer is simple. You chose pride over people. You acted like love was a limited pie, and Monica's slice came from your plate. And now you're here, licking your wounds, hoping someone will tell you there's still a way back. There might be. But it sure as hell won't come from a Reddit hug box. It'll come from owning what you did, apologizing without conditions, and finally realizing that love expands when you let it. Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.